much of anything happening at the moment, and just bear with me for a minute. I'm going to check my volume and my streaming. Here we go. We're doing something here. Yes, we are. There. Oh, gosh. Hang on. I'll get rid of that volume. Don't want to hear my voice in my own ears. Anyway, okay, I've popped on a couple of minutes early just to get some business stuff out of the way before we start crafting this morning. And the biggest amazing news that we have at Stamping Up at the moment is that from the 3rd to the 31st of October, we're having probably one of the best joining offers I've seen in the last 5 years. So it's to celebrate our 35th anniversary as a crafting company, which is pretty exciting in itself. But as to celebrate that, you can either get 35% off the cost of your starter kit or 35% more product in your starter kit for the same price. That's maybe a wee bit confusing to just look at straight up, but what I will do is show you what that means in actual numbers. So from the 3rd of October to the 31st. I'm just going to show you this one. Oh, no, I wanted to show you this one. Yeah, so what that actually means in actual dollars and cents is that if you go option 1, which is the 35% off, you actually get $235 Australian in product of your choice for a grand total of $109.85. So like that's less than half price. And with that, you get free postage, you get business, what they call business supplies, which is catalogues and things like that, if you want to give them out to your friends. Yeah, so that's an amazing deal. The other option, option 2, is to get 35% more product in your starter kit. So for $169, which is the standard price of the starter kit, you would get $317 worth of $317.25 worth of product. So that's, again, is that about half price? It's about half price. So anyway, but that's an amazing. So if you've got a wish list from the current mini catalogue that you think you want to fill and join Stamping Up, then by joining Stamping Up, you can get that at an incredible reduced price. Now, people say to me, if I join Stamping Up, do I have to do videos like you? Do I have to do classes like you? No, you don't. You can purely join to buy for yourself. And, once you've got everything you want, you can then drop back to customer. There is no penalty. There's no problem if that's what you decide to do. There are minimums, like there are with many direct selling companies. There are minimums you need to meet to stay active. But if you don't meet them in any particular quarter, it's just a matter of then the next quarter you go back into being a customer. There's no problems at all. So if that actually interests you, please reach out, let me know. We've got till the 3rd till it kicks off. So I think that's next Tuesday. So have a sit down, look at your wish list, see if you can, which one of those 2 offers would suit you better, and let me know. As an added bonus to that, to these offer, whichever option you take, you will get free registration to our November on stage. So it's actually on stage at home. So it's a virtual event, which is actually really great because you can join from anywhere in Australia. And it's actually worth $123. So you actually, on top of the great deals that we've talked about already with the 35% off or the 35% more, you'll get $123 worth of extra value with this free registration to On Stage at Home in November, which is awesome. And I know I've got ladies who join very Stamping Up on and off. They come and go, and they join especially for the events. So it's probably worth considering if you enjoy those sorts of things, if you'd like to come along to an event. Coincidentally, if you join in October, you will actually be an active demonstrator when we have our big 3-day event in Melbourne in March. So if you actually sort of like coming along to Stamping Up events, if you've been to them in the past or you'd like to give them a try, I will be in Melbourne in March. And if you join using this offer, you can be there in March as well, which would be great to catch up with all of you. Okay, so that's the joining offer. That's absolutely awesome. And you will hear me talk about that again over the next few weeks as well. One more business thing, and this is probably the last we'll do today, is my introduction to card making course. I've already had 7 ladies take the course, and hopefully they're enjoying it. Actually, one thing I was going to say to my beginner ladies, if you have done the course and you really enjoyed it, the joining offer would be a great way of building up your supplies at home. As I say, you don't have to do videos, you don't have to do classes, you can just buy for yourself. And if you're just setting up the craft room and like to get some stamps and inks and all those sorts of things, the joining offer is a great way to get that at a discount. Anyway, and we would love to have you in my Chatty Stampers team. So that's the introduction to card making course there. You get everything you need: stamp, cardstock, bling, ink, stamp set to make 10 cards for $88.50 plus post. There's a few basic tools that you will need at home, but we can discuss those if you're interested in doing the course. And if you have done the course already, I'd love to hear your feedback as to what you thought of it. Okay, so I'll hide that one. I'll get my camera back on and we can actually do some crafting. So today I'm going to make 2 cards with you today. I said today twice, but anyway. So we're going to make 2 cards, and we're using the 6x6 Garden Walk Designer Series. Now, I probably shouldn't admit to this, but I struggle with 6x6 paper. There's a few things I struggle with, and I suppose I do admit to it quite readily, but 6x6 Designer Series paper is something that I struggle to get the best value of, and I'm just trying to find the little piece of, there we are, little backing sheet. I do struggle to get the best value from a 6x6 Designer Series paper, which is why from time to time I'll do a class with a one sheet one and get the best value myself. But anyway, so I don't know what's happening. If anyone's having, it looks a bit laggy there. I'll look at my notes if anyone's, I might be having trouble with the internet again. I'm sorry. It's only just me and Steve at home, and no one's doing anything too atrocious. And I've got the modem in the hallway, and it's looking really not really good, is it? So hopefully if I stay in one place for a while, it might improve a bit. That's not good at all. Let's have a look. It is a bit blurry. Yes, Rose. I just don't know. It's terrible. The best top of the range internet, and I cannot get it to be consistent with my streaming. Okay. I wonder if I turn off the camera. Let's turn off the camera again. Turn it back on. No, it doesn't look like it's any better. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit closer. It's another situation where it actually looks fine on my computer, which means it's definitely an internet issue, which is disappointing. Let's have a look there. No, that's just really atrocious. Internet access. Let's go that one. Let's see. Oh, I think that's worked a bit better. Okay. I hope that didn't actually lose you, but I think that's actually a much better router than the one before. Okay, point taken. I can use the router that's just there, or I can use the extender, which is, well, go figure. It's actually the extender is way in the hall on the other side of the house. But anyway, we'll go with that one. I'm not going to question why it works. It just works. Okay, so apologies about that. At least it's only 4 minutes late. So we've done our business. We've looked at our paper. So this is the, as I say, Garden Walk. Not that you could see it very well before. The Garden Walk Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6, but it is so pretty. It's got some sort of ones that I probably wouldn't use first up, but it's got some pretty flowers. It's got gorgeous roses there, and some lovely flowers as well, and just adore some of these little patterns. And on the other side, there's sort of the usual tone-on-tone backing patterns that we often get with our Designer Series paper. So I'm going to use 2 sheets of this Designer Series paper, and I'm going to make 2 fun fold cards. Now, fun fold cards tend to, or this particular joy card that we're going to make uses a lot of Designer Series paper. So I normally struggle to get the best value when you use that much Designer Series paper with a particular card. But what I've done is I've fiddled the measurements a wee bit with this one, so that out of the same 2 sheets, you can also get a little cute little bookbind card. So we're going to make both of those. So we'll get 2 cards from the 2 sheets of 6x6 Designer Series paper. This one here is that particular little pattern there with the red flowers on it. And I've used, it's a combination of Poppy Parade and Lost Lagoon. So it's the red and the sort of the dark aqua sort of colour there. So that's that there. And I've used the same combination here with a red ribbon on the bookbind. I'm going to swap those colours out and do something that's a little bit more down the Lost Lagoon way. It's still got the red from the red ribbon, but I've used the different Designer Series paper, so I swapped out the card base colour. And there's a reason I did that, but it's a little bit embarrassing, so I'm not sure that I'm going to mention it here. I actually lost my packet of Designer Series paper, could only find a little leftovers, so that's what I designed the cards for. And then as soon as I finished designing the cards, I found the packet of paper. So anyway, doesn't matter. The room is a real mess. Now, if you look in the event for this session today, the measurements for both these cards are actually there. I will transfer them to my feed later on, because I know sometimes the events are a little bit hard to find, you know, once they're over. So I will transfer them, so you will be able to get all the measurements for the card from my either my group or my page, whichever one you frequent. But I'll just quickly go through the measurements. We have a card base which is 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. It's a little bit taller than my usual card, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, so 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and it flips over like that. Okay. Then we've got the second part of the card base is the sort of really cute little mini card that sits on the inside, and it is 8 inches by 3 inches, and it's been scored in the middle, so scored at 4 inches, and it sort of interweaves that other card base, and that's basically what my joy card looks like. I'm not quite sure why they call it a joy card. It's either named after somebody called Joy, or it just gives people joy. Either way is just as valid reason as the rest. But it's a really cute little card, and quite it's a nice way to display a new Designer Series paper when it comes out. Okay, so for this particular one, I'm using layers rather than the 2 coloured cardstocks that I used in this one. I'm just going to use white as one of my layers, and then the Designer Series paper on top. I just think the white, the crispness of the white sort of really makes that stand out. So the layers go down 1/4 of an inch each. So the white layer would be 4 inches by 5 1/4. This particular back one. I think that glue's about to die. I've been watching anyone who who comes along to my Facebook page recently would notice that I've posted about being threatened by some rosellas who have taken up residence on my veranda, which is beautiful. They are beautiful red, green, beautiful, colourful birds. but I think they're looking for nesting positions because they keep trying to get into the ceiling of my veranda. So they're actually hanging around, and every now and then there's a couple of gaps in my veranda where we've taken lights down and we haven't filled the holes. So that every time I go out there, they pretend they're innocent, but then when I'm not watching, they're trying to get into these holes in my veranda. And I've been watching them on my front door camera, sort of watching them hanging around, sort of, and then now and then just sort of flying up to these holes in the veranda and trying to get sort of make the holes even bigger so they can nest in there. I feel bad for them because obviously we're not going to let them nest there. So, they should be trying to go to the reserve, the nature reserve, which is next to our house, where there are hundreds of trees that are appropriate for parrots to nest in. But they're wasting their time hanging around on my veranda, which is a little bit perplexing. But anyway, Stephen's going to fill in the holes. So I suppose something good has come out of it. After 25 years in this house, Stephen's decided to fill in the holes in the veranda ceiling to stop the birds from getting in, which is good. Okay, so the front, on this front layer, I've got another little white panel. So that would be 2.5 by 4. And then we've got another piece of that beautiful designer series paper, which would be 2.25 by 3.75. Okay, so there we are. So that's just that little first piece. The second little mini card, we're going to pop the layers on that as well. So as I say, this makes a 4 by 3. So I've got a layer of white, which would be 3.75 by 2.75. I've got 2 of those. I've got one for inside as well. So the thing with the joy card that you have to be careful with is you've got the score from the big card base on the left. You need the score for the smaller card base on the right hand, so I want them to. And I've got another piece of the cardstock. So this is a different pattern from the garden walk. It's got the same pattern on the other side, so it's just the same pattern, but it's turned over, so it's reversed. So that's what the back looks like. And I'm going to pop that on our little mini card there. So I know every year Stamping Up will come out with something and I'll say, that's the best joining offer I've ever seen. And usually it's true. They seem to come out with better and better offers every year. But to be honest, to get your $235 worth of product for, what was that, less than $110, that is with free shipping. That is one of the best offer I think I've ever seen. So please don't hesitate to get in contact if that appeals to you. As I say, even if you just buy for yourself, you stay for as long as you need to get what you want in the craft room, and then you drop back to customer. That's perfectly acceptable. Although, of course, we'd like to have you stay and be part of our great little community for as long as possible. I don't know, I usually have a couple of my ladies pop on and watch my videos. So if anyone from the chatties is on, who can attest that we are a good little team. I know Rose is on. Rose is part of my team. Okay, so we're going to pop our little mini card into our big card here. Somebody did suggest to me that if I wanted to save cardstock, I could probably cut this front panel from that panel, and because it's going to be covered over anyway. And yes, that's quite a good suggestion, but it was probably more fiddly than I could be bothered doing. But yes, that'd be another way of saving the cardstock if you cut this layer from that larger panel that's layer that's on the back there. So our two cards, they basically intertwine like that. Okay, so that's the basic joy fold. What I'm going to do now is bring in our Heartfelt Hexagon bundle, which is really a great, she says I've got the wrong punch. That's not good. Goes with this punch with the hexagon on it, of course. So the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle, it was released because we're going to be featuring it in World Card Making Day early next month. And I swear I saw somewhere that it was just for World Card Making Day, but I've searched and searched and searched, and I think I can't see where it's going to disappear again. So hopefully it's an ongoing item, but if you really like it, I would suggest grabbing it, because I can't guarantee that it's an ongoing item. Anyone who's a demo who might know whether it's going to be continuing on after World Card Making Day, please let me know. As I say, I did search and search and search, but I could not find any mention of it disappearing, which I thought I had seen, but obviously I was imagining things. But anyway, we're going to use this bundle to make our cute little sentiment for our Joyfold card. So it's got some cute little sentiments on it, and they're obviously all meant to be used with the hexagon punched for the sentiment box. We've got let's eat cake and sending you lots of love and hugs. Lovely sort of general ones. There's a Mr. and Mrs. there, which I think is really handy, because I don't think I've seen anything particularly wedding related, which is cool. And there's another one here. I hope your day is filled with joy. Now, it's a wee bit longer, so obviously you're meant to rotate your hexagon from like a horizontal position to a vertical position, and then you can use I hope your day is filled with joy. And you've got a cute little border, 2 cute little borders that you can use for your hexagon, and some little flowers and hearts as well. So really handy, nice general use bundle. Especially I reckon this one would be good for beginners, because I love punches when it comes to starting off with your card making. But I'm going to do the let's eat cake. And I might use the same colours that I did with my original card, because fundamentally, although they've got different card bases, the themes are both the same. So I'll grab my, which one will I grab first? I might actually just grab the border first. I'm going to put a Poppy Parade border around it. My Poppy Parade ink pad is one of those ones that's gone a bit splodgy. I have been told that that's because I used the wrong refill on it, which is entirely possible. But it works okay. It's fine. It just looks a bit manky. Okay, so that's our Poppy Parade border. I'll bring that closer when we've actually put the sentiment in the middle of it. And our let's eat cake. That's my mum. Sorry, Mum. And the sentiment itself, I'm going to use our Lost Lagoon, which, even though it's not listed as a colour on the designer series paper, I think it suits the designer series paper really well. It's sort of a lighter version of Pretty Peacock, which I think is fine with this. Okay, so there's our let's eat cake sentiment. Now we'll bring our punch in. Just line it up with that border, and instant sentiment box. So easy. Okay, so let's bring in back our card. Now, a bit of input needed here. I'm either going to use, I'm going to be a bit naughty and use a retired ribbon here. This is a retired, even the colour's retired now. This is soft succulent. It's pretty silk satin ribbon that we had a couple of years ago. So if I pop that behind, what my plan is to pop that behind the sentiment box, so it just sort of comes out on both sides like that. Though actually looking at it, I think it disappears a bit too much. Or my other option would be something nice and dark and not going to shrink behind. This is the real red ribbon. Yeah, I think the real red ribbon is the way to go. because at least it doesn't disappear into the background like that soft succulent one did. So what do you reckon there? I don't think there's much of an argument in that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to just grab a wee bit of this real red ribbon. Give it a bit of a trim on the ends. It's a bit rough looking. Still a bit rough looking. Different scissors. Well, now we've got a visitor. Stephen can deal. Okay, so we're going to then just make sure that's long enough to peek out the side, which is what we want. There we are. Sorry, I'm half listening to Stephen talking to our visitor at the door. Give that a bit of a banner edge as well. Okay. There we are. Pop that behind. So I'm going to actually pop that behind our sentiment box. I am still here, but I'm just half listening to Stephen. So I'm going to stick that down with some double-sided tape. Just like that. I think I may have to cut this short by the sounds of that discussion that I'm hearing in the background. But we'll, if I just get the joy card done, we can do the, oh God, now Mum's ringing me again. It's not meant for today. It's not meant to happen. Obviously, everybody wants me. Oh, gosh. Anyway, there we go. So I've popped that on. So that's our red ribbon on the back of our sentiment box. And I find myself losing track of what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm going to pop now the sentiment box on some dimensionals. So I've left the backing on that double-sided tape. I'm not going to remove it because I'm only really using it to stick the ribbon down. If you had, I only grab that because it's my closest thing that I could find. If you've got some masking tape or some sellotape or something in the craft room or a glue dot or something like that that you would prefer to use to put that, to stick that ribbon, then it's really a personal preference thing. There we are. Get the backings off that. Oh, Lord. Don't people know that I'm busy on Wednesday morning at 10:30? There we are. Obviously not. So we'll pop that on the front. Let's eat cake. Try and get it straightish. There we are. Cute. Add some bling. I've got some iridescent gems here, my favourite bling. Now that's what I wanted to sort of say to people. I mean, a couple of my beginners have said that there's, so much to buy that they just get, they just get daunted by it. And as I say to them, you find a stamp set you like, you find a bundle you like, you find some ribbon you like, you find some gems that you like, and you can just, you dine out on those for as long as you like, get as much use out of it as you want. And then you can move on to the next thing that catches your eye. You don't have to buy everything at the same time. You end up bankrupting yourself and then disappointing yourself because you don't get a chance to use it all. So, yeah, it's my suggestion to my beginners, and it's my suggestion to anyone. Find stuff that you really like, you think you're going to use, sentiments that really ring with you, and then, you build your collection up around that, and not go crazy in the first order. Okay, so there is our joy fold card. Well, the front of it's done. Let's eat cake. And then I think in the inside, I might bring in, there's a cute little, in the stamp set, there's a cute little, just a little flower there, just really nice. I bring that in with my thing there. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to have to leave it here, guys, and come back and do the bookbind card later. I think that conversation happening at the door definitely needs me. Okay, so just a cute little flower at the front there. It's just inside. Put another sentiment inside if you like. And there we are. So that's our Joy Fold card. The bits that I have left over for the bookbind are basically just the rest of that. The rest of that 2 sheets. So I've got a big square there and a strip. And so we managed to get both of those out of the 2 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper. But I will come back later and do that one, so watch out for an event fairly soon. But as I say, I think life has taken over, and I'm going to have to go and see what's happening at the front door. If it's not parrots eating my veranda, it's visitors and phone calls from my mum. So anyway, okay, thanks for joining me for that wee part of our video, the first part of it anyway. As I say, if that joining offer appeals to you, please reach out as well, and I'll help you with the system and navigate the system and pick the best combo for your starter kit that suits your needs and where you are with your stamping. But anyway, thanks for joining me. See part 2 coming up hopefully at some stage this afternoon, and